good. Hello everybody, come on in. Friday afternoon, snowy winter day. Back from ClayCon West. Oh man, it was a fun event. Next year you have to put that on your list. I know a lot of people, it was a little less attendance than normal because people are probably holding out for in Sika, being in Utah here coming up. So yeah, but it is a nice event. It's just a really nice size. It's there's a lot going on, but you can also yeah. So Emily and Joe, well done. Family and crew, well done. So they put a lot of energy and work. They were looking pretty tired and beat up by the end, but yeah, they put everything into that. So it's a fun conference. So next January, you should do it. I hope to see you there, and good to see some of you there. So yeah. So here we are back in the studio, and I thought I'd do, Super Bowl's coming up, these kind of fun themes, and just thinking of ideas. There's so many things you can do, right? So this is the time. So I'm gonna make this appetizer plates. Debbie, it was good to be with Debbie. Debbie says hello. Yeah, it was fabulous, and so we got to beat Debbie and Stacy in cards one night. So I mean, it was like a dream. Everybody else went to bed. It was just the three of us left. But but anyway, I was the victor. So neater, Stacy. Keep trying. I'll be practice before next time. Yeah. So oh no, it was just my thing. There's no skill involved. Just plain old luck. What cards you get? Let's go Chiefs. That's right. So yeah, let's make some Chief plates, right? I'm just gonna do some appetizer plates. I think this size is really a wonderful size. I'm using RD2 7x10 rounded rectangle. Not rounded rectangle, oval. RD2 7x10, and this comes in a little RD2 starter pack. So I think that little RD2 starter kit is a great little kit to make just appetizer plates. So you can have some friends over, watch the game, have some friends over to sip on some tea, some wine, whatever, or just casual have your toast down there. So we have lots of different sizes, but I think this is the one I'm going to use today because it's kind of football shaped, right? So we're going with a football theme. So let's get at it. So first off, give a little shout out. I got a mug cup that I bought at GlacierCon from Chris. Chris Cooks Clay. No, Chris Cooks Kilns. 2 C's and a K. Chris Cooks Kilns, and he is an amazing colored clay artist. I gotta get the words out. Now I see Stacy here. I'm just trembling, I guess, a little bit. So I already picked on you, Stacy. You missed it. You have to go back and watch what I said, but yeah.
Before we get into that cameras.
Oh, what's that? My camera. Oh, yeah. Sorry, little adjustment here. Hang tight. Forgot to put the camera up, and I think some of you will like to see the top-down view here. Our fancy GR Pottery studio here. So yeah. So let's we can just take a slab of clay and obviously compress. Here's a good example of where you can see I don't know if you can see the clay squished just gently. It just squishes out. So make sure you're not squishing the clay too much. We don't want to change the dimension of the clay at all. So let's see here. And if it starts to make marks on your clay, see how it's making a mark? Just scrape off that clay and woo-ah, there we go. Nice smooth clay. Let me back up a little bit here too. I will give you a shout out to it's called Clay Camp by the Ceramic Congress, the Ceramic School. And in the past, I was a part of it. So it just started at like an hour ago, an hour and a half ago, maybe 2 hours ago. But anyway, you get the point. This started, but it's going to go on throughout the whole week. There's a bunch of international artists involved, and I know sometimes it feels like you probably have gotten the emails, you probably found social media posts about it, and it looks like this kind of strange computer-generated company, but it's really made by artists for artists, and it's kind of like what Jessica is doing at Clayshare Con, but it's a guy who's from Austria, and so it's more international based, and yeah, so they did it a while back ago. It's kind of a little bit techy, but it's really fun once you kind of get past that and make sure you use Chrome as your browser. But it's only $59 for the weekend to then rewatch some of the ones you might have missed. But I think it's 24/7, like from now until like 72 hours straight of content. So go check it out. But it's also kind of a funky digital experience as well. So, but yeah, it's called the Ceramic School, and this is their clay camp. And this particular camp is focused on surface design. So here would be a good example of the surface design techniques that you could learn to then translate to this type of a project. But yeah, some good friends that are presenting. Katie Miller is the first up, and Luciana from Brazil is doing a workshop. Let's see, I don't know him very well, but I really like Andrew Clark's work. He's going to be doing a demo, so go check it out. And it's $29 just to watch it live, or $59 to be able to get the recording or go back into it. So yes. So here we are. And any other announcements I need to make? I don't think so at the moment.
Not yet.
All right. So, I have an announcement. Let's start out at the beginning here before everybody goes over to the ceramic shop or the ceramic school, whatever. We are going to restart contests. So our first contest of the year is going to be football themed party platters, and we're going to give away $100 to the winner. It's just going to be a drawing of anybody that submits under the rules, and we will send out a post probably next week, maybe yet today, but most likely next week, about what the rules are for the contest. And I see a live guy. He's here, so hopefully he probably will have some good submissions. But yeah, so Stacy, this is your what do you call it? Charge to make some football themes. I already have them. If you already have them, just post. And it doesn't even really have to be that football theme to get entry. And but anyway, so hopefully that'll be fun and encouraging to post some stuff about platters or footballs, and we'll kind of go from there. So, all right, let's get to it. So surface. So I'm going to just pull up on my phone here an image of a football, and to give me a little inspiration of design. And it's really fun. You know, you use Google and hit images, and it kind of gives you different inspiration of different footballs, right? Maybe the texture, maybe, I don't know, whatever you want. So I wanted to where is my, oh, I don't see it now. I always do this, I'm sorry. Artist brain, I guess, right? It's like a squirrel. Somebody said like a, ooh, maybe they'll try this. I was looking for I have a specific ruler that is ideal, but we're just gonna go with this here. So we're just gonna make I don't know, maybe it's not gonna be what I'm going for, but that's okay. This is live streaming here, you know, we can just do it. And then so we kind of got what I'm trying to do is make some threads of the football. You know, you don't have to have any fancy equipment. Let's see if I have enough clay here. Yeah, I guess I probably need to go about here. So maybe I better eliminate some of my made the marks a little bit too much. So let's just put this in here. And then I'm just going to get rid of these marks. You get the idea. The thing is really just to kind of have fun, use what you have, make it kind of represent football theme, right? So now I got the stripes of the football. I'll hold it up for, and I love to just kind of make, that's a nice thing about, the fun thing is just making stuff, right? So experiment, and then maybe it doesn't work out, maybe it works out. So, you know, you never know. That's how you make it. What really, you know, if we don't make it, we don't know what's going to be. So now I'm just going to kind of lay it over here and do a board. I know a lot of you guys have been getting these boards. I hope they're going well for you. Just know that you know, you just got to maintain them. They're kind of fragile as far as warping and moving, so let them dry out. Keep flipping them to the other sides that are dry, and they'll last. They'll do good for you. But I really like that they're lightweight is the main thing, and that the clay releases really well from them. So, okay, let's see if there's any questions. Oh yeah, well Diane, we'll put out the instructions. But mainly it's probably going to be like you're saying, special hashtag so we can find the entries, which is going to be GR football, but it'll be all in the post. And then you also have to tag the post with @GR Pottery Forms so that we see that as well. So there'll be two different things you'll have to do to be entered into the drawing. And you can submit as many times as you want. This has to be a different drawing, but we'll put those rules in there. Oh, hi Luann. Welcome. Christina. Yeah. Diane. Let's see. How good you like the work boards? Yeah, they are. I'm really happy I made them finally. They're just a nice thing to have, and it's nice I think, just to have a consistent choice so that you can kind of, you know, not have multiple different sizes. It's like we have the small one and the big one, and that should give you what you need for any of the size project that can fit in a kiln, a normal kiln. So now I'm going to take my finger and go around this outside edge. You know, I talk a lot about with people how critical this edge is, and it can get kind of funky. So and because it can get funky right here because all the different pressure is mainly happening in this one section, and so make sure that you try to maintain that thickness of the clay as well as you can. Oh, Christina's gonna load one on the video. Good. All right. So let's see here. Where did you see a knife over there? Oh, here it is. I found it. Of course. And I'm going to add a foot to this, but what I'm going to do is just do a rough cut here. And I'm going to cut really close to the surface, but I want to make a foot for this piece, so I'm going to make sure it's all compressed evenly. And I take, oh yeah, here's a good one. I like to take a foot maker that is, I push it in a little bit thinner for a thinner foot, because these are a little delicate. So, you know, maybe the size of the foot determined by the size of the form you're using. And this one, I'm just going to use this one size foot here. So, I learned a new little trick dealing with these edges. I think some of you will like. Some of you have your own ways as well already. I typically, you know, like to have a little edge on there like I already do, but these new rounded edge forms, it kind of has the lip incorporated in my mind that I'm happy with. So I can then take a beveling tool, and we're just going to do this first because I want to show you a trick on where to put the foot. So what I want to do is, if I have to remove, and this is why you want to do a rough cut, because you might mess up that edge a little bit. So now what you can do is you can lift it up, and I like to just make sure we could go around a little bit here and smooth that edge kind of down around the corner here. Corner being the edge of the form. And then I like to use a wire cutter. So like the premium, the nicest one is the Dirty Girls tool. But I wanted to show you that I know a lot of you probably have this in your toolbox and maybe never gets used. But you know, again, you don't have to go around you don't have to have the perfect tool every time. You can kind of use what you have. But I'm just going to use a beveler, and this is an inexpensive kind of imported one, and I'm just going to use that to use as a cutting tool to just follow that edge of my form and try to hold it on a consistent angle and go all the way around my form here. And it's so satisfying, and it cuts so nicely. So really that wire is really kind of what's our advantage is. It's really kind of creating a no drag kind of edge around the form. And it really does matter on what angle you hold it. These are typically made to kind of cut clay so you can join them together. So I'm just using this as a non-intended purpose, but to use the wire, because it's being suspended, so I can just use it to cut the edge here too. Hopefully that makes sense. And I think in this case with these forms, I will use a sponge here and then just kind of touch up this edge here. So now I can kind of clean up my clay scraps here, get them out of the way. And so here's a little trick. Actually, let's switch over to a small board. So I can set now my sew tool. You know how I love using the sew tool. I think it's a great way to measure. Is that I can set this on the edge here, follow along. In this case, I have it measured to 1 3/4 inches. I'm going to go just a little bit, should be about 2 inches, but I'm going to go just a little bit inside, or a little bit more out on this one. So now this creates this nice, creates this nice kind of mark of where you should put the foot. Trying to mess this up, huh? Oh well, this is clay. So now what I can do is wrap this foot around here, and because it's a oval shape, we got to kind of do it by hand. And with this angle, it kind of connects nicely. This clay is right fresh out of the bag, so it's a little bit on the soft side. But so I think if it's a little firmer, you can have a little more control. So I'm just going to use a sponge in this one because it's so wet to just kind of smooth that out. So I do break my own rules. Typically I avoid a sponge if all possible, but this top part of the foot, I'm going to just use it. So there's a time and place for everything, I guess, right? And then use my trimming tool to clean that up. This is where the real connection happens, I think. It also helps to kind of clean things up a bit. Hello, New Jersey. No slip. No slip, Jeff. You got it. This clay is nice and wet already, so adding more moisture would make it slip. Yeah. And I think the real tweaking kind of happens at leather hard, but I just kind of want to put it in the general shape that I want to end up in. Try not to mess with it too much. So yeah, and there we go. So then I'll set this one off the side. Nice thing about these particular forms is you don't need a spacer or anything to develop that lip. They can just be right on the form. So set that off to the side to dry. Let's make another one. Actually, you know, I think we'll just time-wise here. I think I'm going to make a football platter, but the thing is that there's really so many options. If you want to create the divided edges, I am using this. I won't be able to do it today, but I'm using. You have all kinds of things out there. You could just cut little wedges of clay too, but this is a diamond core one, so it kind of gives me options of it's a little bit off. So to make that moat, so if you want to have like a chip and dip tray, like maybe queso on one side and salsa on the other, you could make it look like a football, make your divided parts look like the stripes of the football. So many good things, right? So many options. All right, let's move this over here. So I think I'm going to use one of the OGs. The 8x15 is my favorite size for the oval platters. We have like 3 of them, but You know, this really depends on what you're going for. But here we go. It's going to fit on the slab nicely. Got plenty of room if I need to make a foot. And so let's compress the clay. So take my Mud Tools yellow rib, this flat side, drag the clay across, kind of making the same kind of motion. Make a motion, not a consistent pressure. Don't think about how hard you are, just kind of drag the rib across the clay. And if you do it a few times, which you should do a lot of times here, hopefully, you will kind of get the feel of it. So we're really trying to just pack those particles together, making sure that they're going to hold the shape a little bit better. And kind of nice about these original ones is you can just press down a little bit. There's all different advantages of using the different types of forms we have available, right? And so maybe if I were going to put this, once it gets developed, I could put this, these chunks of clay, or just squish this one, but you'll get the idea, as like a moat inside there, so you could put your chips in here and then their salsas here, and they'll marry up to the side of the 45-degree angle platter. But I think I'm just gonna do surface treatment on this one so you see the whole thing through, and I'm stick with my same theme of this ruler here. And I don't really need that stripe to be outside of the bottom where my decoration is going to be, so I'm just going to cover that up. And it could be as simple as just leaving, you know, having a little bit of a indicator of where you're going to decorate, like kind of drawing lines, so you could really paint in the different threads or whatever of the football. So however you want to decorate it, that's the fun part. You get to decide. So actually I think I will, just because of make it consistent. So then you could make little appetizer plates to match your platter. You got a little party platter situation happening, right? Yeah, you kind of get the idea. And I can put this back in here. So, if you get on it, you can have your platters all made for your party. Now, what you can do is release the clay a little bit. And here's another board. And this is Luann's favorite part, making the flip, right? And Bill's flipperoni. Yeah. So now again, I'm really thinking of kind of trying to keep that clay even, and so by just kind of pushing the clay towards the form, that'll help me to kind of keep the clay even and close to the form. So then I like to kind of go around the edge, you kind of move those air bubbles out, air pockets out there without kind of altering the thickness of the clay. And then once it's in place here, then I come by and compress with a rib. And the rib gives me a nice even compression. Again, with the goal to maintain the thickness of the slab. In this case, I'm going to make a lip on the outside, so help keep those chips in the platter. Compression, compression, compression. I'm just going to turn this so I can see what this other side looks like. Alright, back to my sew tool, and I think I have about the same. I'm kind of limited to this little gap of clay. Probably don't need this big of a, we'll go 1.5 inches. And so now how this is being used is, maybe I have to open this up a little bit. Make sure you use your adjusters here on the sew tool if you have one. This little thing, you'll be able to adjust the dowel in and out. And make sure you use this knob to unloosen so you can adjust it much easier without kind of reckoning the threads of the tool. So now this oval platter, it's really difficult to know where this outside lip is going to be measured. So just going to run that along the outside edge here. If you have to go over it a couple times, it's just kind of giving you an indicator of making it much easier to cut a uniform lip. See how that works? And this particular platter, I want to use a regular size foot maker, so I'm going to cut out a couple of strips of clay here. Should have enough. Kind of hold it on a little bit of an angle and cut right down through. This one I have it's a platter is a little thicker. I think my other plate's got a little bit thinner. And now I'm just going to take my knife and cut it on the outside part of where I made that kind of guide mark. Maybe I make it a little bit kind of pointy kind of edge to represent a football a little bit more. But this edge is really what you're going to see more than the inside edge, so you could really use a rectangle form and make an oval outside, right? So all kinds of options. There we go. Now, I'm going to go the other way. I like the, and again, I want to try to keep this foot as close to the edge as possible. On this one I don't really need to make a mark with a saw tool because there's a more defined ridge because of the form being used here, the OG.
Diana had a good question. She asked if you're gonna need an extra foot support in the middle because this form is bigger.
Good question. My rule is the narrowest, by the narrowest measurement, and it has to be over 8 inches. So this one is 8 by 5, so it's kind of borderline. And just by my experience, that I can get away with not doing it on this particular 8 by 15 rectangle. It will be just fine. But it's all comfortability. It kind of also depends on the clay you're using. If you're using B-mix or a porcelain, then definitely then your measurement might be, or my measurement might be like 6 inches instead of 8 inches. So there's a lot of other factors, but in this case I'm not going to add one. I think it's it's nice to have this uniform oval in this case, so I like the aesthetic way versus maybe the functional, logical way. And I can just connect those. Kind of cut on a strange angle this time. Kind of cut on a diagonal. I didn't really need to, because then I got to kind of lay it under there. It kind of creates a little bit of a gap in the clay. So usually if you just cut down straight, it works really good. And again, just using the JA20 here to clean up, join that foot. Lifting it up, I can kind of see the other side here, making sure that it's joined well. There we go. So now we have this nice big lip to deal with. And it must be somebody out there was showing, maybe it was Bill, how to use spacers, because we've been getting a lot of orders for spacers lately. But in this big oval shape here, we really only need one because it's flat and the spacer is flat. So we just a square one is good. You could use a round one. A ½ inch is is kind of the standard size. And I can kind of pull the form or the whole thing over here. Then put it on top here. So now what this does is help manage this lip, so I can just push on the very outside edge on the rim and push that rim down. And when I do that, it creates an angle because the rim edge versus the middle part of the foot here, or the lip, this is higher than the outside edge, so it creates an angle kind of going down. So that will really help with kind of maintain its the integrity of that angle throughout, and yeah.
Can Kimberly asked if you have any tips to prevent warping with the RD2s.
You know, there's we do have that frequently asked question, which has a lot of, which you probably already read. Maybe sounds like it's there's still definitely tricks. The tricks really are, the main trick is that evenness of drying. So I think it's kind of a battle that you have to kind of figure out in your studio where you are, like how it dries. Sometimes I have found that adding compression on the outside, like lines or a texture roller on the outside edge, will help with that compression. We can do that right on this one, because really we're just trying to kind of keep that. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Keep that clay kind of. When it's under stress of that firing, it needs a place to deal with that stress. It's just clay, so it needs an outlet. And so, I don't know, that's kind of a theory I've had lately about kind of addressing. But this is like option number 10 for preventing warping, in a sense, right? There's a lot more important ones. And before, really the three main important ones are compression when you're making it, then leaving it on the form until it's leather hard. That's a big one, but a lot of people try to like remove the form immediately and try to make another one, because that will kind of affect the movement of the clay, and it'll remember. And then third is like how it is drying it evenly. And so a lot of times what I'll do is I will, once it's been removed leather hard, if I have a nice consistent edge around the whole end, I will let it just dry upside down. And that really helps with this, with the edge. This is a good experiment though. This is a great example. Like, I bet you will have less warping with this large one with this lip on the outside than you will with this little plate. And a lot of times people try to make, even with the originals, try to cut right close to the edge of the wood, where then you don't have a lot of, the ratio between the outside edge and the inside spot is so different for the drying that it, this outside edge is going to dry way faster than the inside part, right? So making sure to even that is a big factor. So you have to be probably a little more careful with this one than you do with this one, because this one has this nice big wide thick band of clay there to kind of hold everything in place. And so I think that and so leaving it on leather hard will really kind of help you throughout that. So yeah. Hi Sherry. Christina went to Aardvark this week. They're carrying more and more GR party forms. Yep. They need another shipment soon though, I think. Need some of these. I don't know if they have, I think they probably have these shapes, but yeah, let me know what they need. So let's see. Penny says, "Don't forget to bring your bowl." Oh, what about the pumpkin? Is that what you're talking about? I gotta get you your pumpkin. I have it glazed, but pumpkin plate. But now football plate should really. I forget how we did that contest, but we should give somebody a football plate. But yeah, as you gotta wait for it then. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to going to the. I still haven't connected with the Northern Clay, the Northern Pottery Conference. So I got to make sure that I'm all set up for that. So, but I'm coming anyway, whether I have a booth or not. So, yep. So anyway, we'll be in touch about possible visit maybe, or demo at Penny Paul's. Anybody else want to come? So, yeah, that was a good question about warping, and you caught me in the right time to kind of go on a little tangent about it. So, yeah, so it's really interesting. I think with all the pottery, it's all trial and error. Really, it's just a matter of, keep trying. Make sure you write down what you did. Try to be purposeful of all your steps because you want to repeat those steps over so you get the same product. So, but it's kind of it's so it's good to have making multiples at one time so you can kind of see different things. But yeah, so another good indicator of possibly warping is if you come as it's dry and check it out, and one side is a different color than the other side, then that could also be that'd be a good indicator of what side is drying faster, and if that's happening, you're probably going to get warping as well. So yeah, so it is the big battle with functional work is warping, and yeah. Sometimes it's just a little bit of kind of the clay we use. Also, I like to use a real groggy stoneware. That really kind of helps in warping, and also just the durability of the long-term durability of the piece. So, we're making things to be used. So that's what I'm like concerned about, longevity. So, yeah, yeah. So I think anybody else have any other questions? This is kind of maybe I'll be done in time today, but we're just kind of checking out different things here. But definitely go check out the ceramic school, and their clay camp. I think it'll be really worth $59 to gain a couple of different things about the information. So, oh, my enchiladas are in the oven. I'll be right there. Sounds good. Actually, I'm coming to San Diego in April, the beginning of April. So maybe that'll work out to come have some enchiladas. So we'll see how it goes. I'm on my family schedule in this trip. So pottery is on the pottery situations are on the back burner because otherwise you get in trouble. So are the forms RD2? So I use the OG for the big platter, and I use the RD2 for the small one. So yeah. So let me see, give you a little more time. I'm gonna just compress these other ones here. I guess we got a little more time yet too. These RD2s though are really ideal for underglaze transfers, or I hopefully you're gonna be showing you some more easy print. What's it called? Easy print, I think.
Yeah.
They were at ClayCon West this year, and so I got to talk to them and got some samples for making screens to do simple screen printing on slabs or on finished pieces. So I'm going to be experimenting with that a lot in the next little while, and we'll be sharing what I'm learning. But yeah, so what I was kind of got sidetracked about was that the RD2s are great for using those screen printed transfers, or just transfers in general. Yep. Who's everybody rooting for to win the Super Bowl? I heard Debbie's voted for Kansas City, but they're dominant, so it's time for somebody else. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it. They're quite the Mahomes is unbelievable. All right, so let's see here. Let's go back here again. Maybe this time I want to make it a little easier on myself to put that decoration. So my favorite tool, the JA20 Kemper modeling tool. It great little way to mark the clay. And I'm just going to use this ruler as the thing to make threads. Debbie probably has a nice football cutter to thread stamp. Oh, Penny Paul, the Chiefs fan too. All right. Of course, I was hoping for the Lions, but you know, just man, it's just so difficult. They work so hard, but not this year. Next year, maybe. Hopefully, but hopefully they keep their momentum. But proud of how well they did. It was fun to root for them. Oh yes. I guess I'll finish, huh? I'm just going to eliminate this line, so if I don't quite get lined up really well, because in this case I did the outside line, so it's going to be harder to line it up. Just going to eliminate that. Oh yeah, so see how these slabs have been on here a little bit? So here's the pro tip. Then I just flip it over where it's dry. This board is even a little kind of a little warped, but that's alright. It works great. So now I can put my form back on there. Looks good enough. No, poor Panthers, no, yeah. Yikes, a rough year for Panthers, that's for sure. It's because I probably had Trevor Lawrence on my... Oh wait, no, is he Jacksonville? I feel like I always pick the worst players, and so I feel bad for the players that I pick for for the fantasy football. That just means you're going to have a rough year if I pick them. So you never know. Yes. Well, some of you out there too, just a little heads up on our... Man, we've got so many different things now that it's sometimes hard to maintain. It's like constantly battling what we're missing. And so sometimes just get unlucky as far as one item that's on your order that it's holding up your order. So, but hopefully by Monday we'll have all the orders, all the older orders out from the. We try to be within the week of from the order of shipping it out. So, but we do our best. But sometimes it just there's so many items that it's Debbie probably deals with that. And somehow you guys are really magically know which the popular items are to at the moment. And oh, Jerry, hello Jerry, good, glad you joined, made it. Yeah, you almost did. I almost cut off about 2 minutes ago, and you would have just missed it. But I decided to do one more, so. Let's see. Oh yeah, your chargers they moved. Yep. Well, thanks. Yeah. Justice and Matt, the chipping crew. Loose cut here, just to kind of release the clay a little bit. And okay, I'm using my little small. You can see how there's just a little difference. Like you can just bend them with your fingers or a wrench or whatever, but I kind of got the idea from Katie Miller. She ended up buying like 4 different foot makers so that she could have a different measurement for each of the types of things she wanted. And then she knew like what those measurements were, so probably even numbered the cutters. Like, okay, this platter is number 1 foot maker. I numbered the foot maker, I should say. I think I said platter. Alright, so now we got to cut that edge. And this time I'm going to use my favorite one, is the kind of smooth that edge. I'm going to use my favorite Dirty Girls. Cuts so nice. Another thing I really like about this one is it's got this, just the way the handle is designed, how it's real easy to hold on to then kind of maintain that angle. Take this. Now I have this edge nice and clean. I can set my gauge. I'm going to put this a little further this time. Put out the little marker. Put it on a little bit of an angle. And then just try to follow this outside edge. A lot of times what I do is just try to think about keeping that outside edge going along there nice and smoothly, and just let the kind of pointed part kind of just do its thing. And then it works. If I'm trying to think about the point and the outside, I usually get this kind of wiggly line. So, yeah. Now I can just add this to the inside of that line. Sure it stays right side up. Down there, a bit of better cut this time. I was thinking about something else last time. Made a little more work for myself. So I think the next event that I'm going to be doing is Glacier Con. Maybe, actually no, I'm going to be in Phoenix for the Marjan open house Clay Olympics. And I don't know anybody here from Nashville. I might go down to Nashville next week actually for I just found out about it yesterday, so I'm going to see if it'll work out, but they're having a ribbon cutting ceremony for their new addition on their campus. It's a great place there, the Clay Lady campus. And so I might make a appearance, support them in their new spot. That'll be a quick trip. There we go. All right. Add lines with the end of this tool. Just put them on the outside here, see what happens. Finger marks, right? Kind of you'll pick up the plate more easier. Easy. I don't know how to say. I can't speak English. Well, everybody, thanks so much for being here. And hi, Sue. Thanks for being here. Hi, bye. And go check out the ceramic school. They're good people over there, and it's definitely very different type of style. It's very techy kind of options, like but chats, and I don't know if you like that type of stuff, but yeah, it's I think the content's going to be really amazing. So you can go check that out. So, all right, enjoy the football games. Enjoy making some football party platters. Maybe you just want to have tea and biscuits and make some fancy tea and biscuits plates. So, whatever you're gonna do, have fun. And the more you have fun, the better it's gonna turn out. So, yes, all right, Penny, I'll do that. But yeah, hopefully we can see each other there. So, yeah. Oh, you own every floor of every RD2. Perfect. Yes. You like the RD2s now, right? Right, Christina? So, all right, everybody. Goodbye now.